The night sky was silent. Stars floated in the dark like tiny lamps, and space seemed calm as always. But sometimes silence is only a mask. Sometimes silence hides secrets that should never be found. A young explorer named Aaron sat inside his small ship, listening to the endless static of his communication screen. He was not looking for treasure, not looking for war. He only wanted to hear the sounds of the universe. But that night, something strange happened. Through the noise of static, a clear signal broke in. It was not random. It repeated again and again, like a heartbeat. Aaron leaned closer, his eyes wide. "What is this?" he whispered to himself. He checked his system again. The signal came from a forbidden star system, a place the Galactic Council had marked as empty and dangerous. No one was allowed to go near it. The Council said there was nothing there but dead stars and broken rocks. But this signal was alive. It carried patterns, too perfect to be natural. Aaron saved the recording and sent it to his closest friend, Myra, a skilled decoder who worked at a small station far from the eyes of the Council. Hours later, Myra called back. Her voice shook. "Aaron, this is not random. Someone, or something, is sending a message." Aaron's heart raced. "What does it say?" Myra paused. Her screen glowed in the dark room as she decoded the signal. Then she whispered, "It says, they are watching." A chill ran down Aaron's spine. Who were they? And who were they watching? He tried to laugh it off. Maybe it's just old data, left over from some machine. But Myra shook her head. "No, this is recent. The signal is alive. And Aaron, it's not just a message. It's a warning." Aaron looked out of his window into the endless sea of stars. A warning from the dark? Why would the Council hide something like this? He remembered the Council's strict orders. Never go near the forbidden system. Never listen to unapproved signals. Trust only the Council. But now, trust felt heavy, like a chain. Later that night, when Aaron replayed the signal alone, something even stranger happened. At first, the message was the same, the repeating sound, the hidden code. But then, slowly, the static twisted into a voice. A deep, cold voice that whispered through the speakers. And it called his name. Aaron. His hands froze on the controls. His heart thundered in his chest. The voice was not Myra's, not anyone he knew. It was something else. Aaron. The voice repeated, softer this time, almost like a breath. He stumbled back from the console. How could it know his name? No one else had access to his ship's frequency. No one else could break through his system. Unless this was not human at all. Fear mixed with curiosity. Aaron wanted to shut down the system, to throw the signal away and forget it forever. But another part of him, the part that had always chased mysteries, refused to stop listening. He whispered into the empty ship, "Who are you?" No answer came, only the sound of the static, beating like a slow pulse. But he could not shake the feeling that someone, somewhere, had just opened their eyes and noticed him. Aaron sent another message to Myra, telling her about the voice. At first, she thought he was joking. But when she checked the recording again, she gasped. "You're right," she said, her voice trembling. The signal changed. "Aaron, this is not just a code. This is intelligence. Something is talking to us." Myra warned him to stop digging. "If the Council finds out, they will silence us. You know they control all information. They never allow secrets like this to spread." But Aaron couldn't stop. The voice had already hooked his heart. He had to know more. For the next few days, he tracked the signal deeper and deeper. Every night it grew stronger, almost as if it was following him, waiting for him. He felt less alone in the dark, but also more afraid. Because if something was watching, then it was already too late to hide. On the fifth night, when the signal came again, the voice returned. This time, it didn't just call his name. It said, "Do not trust the Council." Aaron's blood turned cold. He stared at the screen, unable to breathe. The Council? The rulers of the galaxy? The ones who decided who lived in safety and who did not? Why would a voice from the forbidden system warn him about them? He saved the new recording and leaned back in his chair, his hand shaking. The Council had always told the people they were protectors, guides, the keepers of peace. But if this voice was telling the truth, then everything might be a lie. Aaron didn't know if he was in danger, or if the whole galaxy was. The voice faded into silence, leaving only static. The stars outside his window looked colder, sharper, as if they were hiding eyes behind their glow. And as he sat in the quiet of his ship, one thought burned in his mind. The universe was speaking to him, and he had just heard the first warning. Aaron could not sleep. The strange voice from Forbidden Star System haunted his mind. Over and over, he remembered the words. Do not trust the Council. The Council, the rulers of the galaxy, the so-called guardians of peace. Could it be true that they were hiding something? Or was he losing his mind? The next morning, he replayed the recording. The voice sounded clearer now, as if it wanted him to understand. But Aaron knew he could not share it with just anyone. If the Council discovered what he had, they would erase him, the same way they erase all dangerous voices. He thought about the stories. Many explorers had once traveled near the Forbidden Systems. Some never returned. The Council always said they were lost in accidents or destroyed by natural forces. But now Aaron began to doubt. What if they had found something, and were silenced before they could speak? He sent another message to Myra. She answered quickly, her eyes wide with fear. Aaron, she said softly, I checked the Council's restricted archives. I should not even have access, but I tried, and I found something. What did you find? Aaron asked. Myra hesitated. The Forbidden System, it has a history. Decades ago, several ships went missing there. Not only small explorers, but whole research fleets. Their names are not on any public record. The Council erased them. Aaron felt a cold wave run through him. Why would they hide that? Myra's voice dropped to a whisper. Because those fleets reported contact. Not with humans, with something else. The silence between them felt heavy. Suddenly, Aaron noticed something strange on his screen. A faint signal. Someone was tracing his ship. He quickly shut down his transmitter. His eyes scanned the dark. Myra, I think someone is watching me. She leaned closer to her screen. Be careful. If the Council knows you have that signal, they will hunt you. They don't want the truth to escape. That night, Aaron sat alone in his ship, feeling the weight of eyes in the shadows. Every small sound made him jump. The hiss of the air system, the quiet beep of the console. He looked at the stars, but they felt different now, like 1,000 spies staring back. The next day, he received a message. It appeared suddenly on his screen, without any signature or code. The letters were simple, glowing in the dark. Meet me. I know what you heard. Aaron's heart pounded. Who could send this? Was it a trap from the Council? Or was it someone else who knew the secret? He hesitated. But the message appeared again, this time with coordinates to a quiet spaceport on the edge of the galaxy. And below the numbers, 3 words were written. Before it's too late. Aaron stared at the message for a long time. He knew the risk. If this was a Council, he would walk into his own prison. But if it wasn't, this might be his only chance to find the truth. He sent a quick note to Myra. I'm going to meet them. If I don't return, you know why. Myra begged him not to go, but Aaron had already made his choice. Hours later, his ship landed at the old spaceport. The place was dark, silent, abandoned long ago. Dust floated in the air. Broken lights flickered weakly. He stepped out of his ship, every sense alert. The silence felt alive, as if shadows were waiting to swallow him. Then, from behind a broken wall, a figure stepped forward. A man in a dark cloak, his face hidden. Aaron's hand moved to his weapon, but the man raised his hand. I am not here to hurt you. His voice was low, urgent. Who are you? Aaron asked. The man lowered his hood. His face was tired, his eyes filled with fear. I used to work for the Council, but now I am their enemy. I know the secret you have discovered. Aaron's breath caught in his throat. Then tell me, what are they hiding? The man looked around nervously, as if the walls themselves were listening. The Council has lied to the galaxy for centuries. They say the Forbidden Systems are empty. But they are not. They are hiding something ancient, something powerful. Aaron stepped closer. What is it? Before the man could answer, the ground shook. A loud crash echoed through the spaceport. Lights exploded. Aaron turned and saw shadows moving at the edge of the station, dark armored council guards, their weapons glowing red. They had found him. The man grabbed Aaron's arm and shoved something into his hand. A small, glowing crystal device. "Take this," the man whispered. "It will show you the truth." Before Aaron could ask anything, the guards rushed forward. The man pushed him back toward the ship. "Run. They cannot find you with this." Aaron stumbled, holding the crystal tight. The guards' voices roared through the station. The last thing he saw before he jumped into his ship was a man being surrounded, dragged to the ground. His final words echoed through the chaos. "Find the truth before they erase it." Aaron's ship blasted into the dark sky, the crystal glowing in his hand. And somewhere behind him, the council closed their trap tighter. Aaron's ship cut through the darkness of space, faster than it had ever flown. His hand shook on the controls, the small crystal device burning like fire in his pocket. Behind him, the spaceport was nothing but smoke and silence. The man who had risked his life for him was now gone, captured, or worse. But his word refused to leave Aaron's mind. "This will show you the truth." For hours, Aaron flew in silence, his eyes scanning the radar. No council ships followed, but he knew it was only a matter of time. They had seen him. They knew what he carried. Finally, when he was far beyond the normal lanes of travel, Aaron landed on a deserted moon. The surface was sharp and empty, the kind of place no one cared to visit. Perfect for hiding. Inside his ship, he placed a crystal on the console. It was small, glowing with a strange blue light. Its shape was unlike any technology he had seen before. Not human, not council-made. Something ancient, something alien. His fingers hesitated above it. What if this was a trap? What if the man had lied, and this crystal would destroy him? But the curiosity inside him was stronger than the fear. Slowly, he pressed the surface of the crystal. The ship filled with light. A hologram exploded into the air, bright and sharp. Aaron covered his eyes for a second, then lowered his hand, and what he saw made his breath stop. The hologram showed stars, galaxies, and then figures. Tall, glowing figures with shapes not like humans. Their eyes were bright, their bodies thin and stretched. They stood before great cities, floating above the ground, powered by energy he did not understand. A voice filled the ship. It was calm, deep, not human, but clear. "We are the first ones. We were here before your kind. The council knows of us. The council uses our power." Aaron's heart raced. The council knew? They had been lying to the galaxy all along. The voice continued. "We gave knowledge to the council long ago. They promised to protect it, but they chose to keep it for themselves. They chose to hide us, to bury the truth." The images changed. He saw battles, great wars in the stars, ships burning, planets falling. He saw humans kneeling before these beings, trading loyalty for power. And then darkness. The images ended in silence. Aaron leaned forward, his voice shaking. "Who are you?" The hologram flickered. The voice answered slowly. "We are the Watchers. We never left. We are waiting." The light faded, leaving only the quiet hum of the ship. Aaron stared at the crystal. If this was true, then everything he had ever believed was a lie. The council were not guardians. They were thieves, hiding an ancient race for their own control. But before he could think more, his radar flashed red. A signal. Ships moving fast. The council had found him. He panicked. He could not fight them, not with his small vessel. He had to escape. But before he could act, a message came through his system. It was Myra. Her face appeared, pale and frightened. "Aaron, I've been searching for you. The council knows everything. They are coming for you. You must leave now." Aaron nodded quickly. "Myra, listen, I found something. The crystal, it shows an alien race. They were here before us. The council." "I know," Myra interrupted, her voice trembling. "I heard the whispers. Some inside the council are trying to hide, but others are afraid. Aaron, you're in the middle of something bigger than us." He wanted to tell her everything, but the ship shook. The radar screamed louder. The council fleet had arrived. "Go!" Myra shouted. Find the truth before they silence you. The screen went black. Aaron gritted his teeth and pushed the controls. His ship roared forward, trying to outrun the Council ships. But they were faster, stronger. Suddenly, a strange thing happened. The crystal on the console glowed again, brighter than before. The ship's system flickered, then changed. Lights on the panels moved by themselves. His ship was no longer his own. What's happening? Aaron cried. The voice returned, calm but powerful. We will guide you. Do not fear. The ship turned sharply, moving faster than it ever had before. Stars blurred outside the windows as the Council ships fell behind. Aaron could only watch as the crystal's power controlled everything. For the first time, he felt both safe and terrified. Safe, because the Council could not catch him. Terrified, because something far greater had just taken control of his life. The hologram flickered once more. The alien voice spoke again, this time louder, closer. You are chosen. You will reveal the truth. But first, you must survive. Aaron stared at the glowing crystal, his heart pounding. What did it mean? Chosen? Why him? The ship leapt into deep space, away from the Council fleet. For now, he was safe, but he knew it would not last. The Council would never stop hunting him. And somewhere in the darkness, the Watchers were waiting. The last thing he heard before the crystal went silent sent chills through his soul. We are returning. The stars outside Aaron's ship spun like rivers of light as the crystal guided him through space. He sat frozen at the controls, hands hovering but useless. The ship was no longer his. The alien device had taken over. The voice from the crystal whispered again. We will guide you. Trust us. Aaron's heart pounded. Trust them? These ancient beings had shown him visions of wars, a betrayal, of the Council kneeling before their power. They were not protectors. They were rulers, and now they claimed to be returning. But the alternative was worse. The Council was hunting him. He could not turn back. Hours passed before the ship slowed, drifting into the shadow of a silent planet. The surface was covered in black stone, broken mountains, and long-dead ruins. Aaron had never seen this world on any map. The crystal pulsed brighter. Hey, the voice said. The ship landed gently on a cracked plain. Dust rose into the air, heavy and ancient. Aaron stepped outside, his boots sinking into the silent ground. The air was thin, sharp, but still breathable. Everywhere he looked, the ruins stretched like bones of forgotten age, towers half buried in sand, strange symbols carved into walls, machines long dead. The place felt like a graveyard. In the center of the ruins stood a single structure, tall and glowing faintly with blue light. The crystal in his hand vibrated. It wanted him to enter. Aaron walked slowly, his breath shallow, his eyes scanning every shadow. He felt as if someone was watching, though he saw no one. The air was thick with secrets. Inside the structure, the walls lit up as he stepped forward. Strange patterns of light crawled across the stone, forming symbols he could not read. The crystal glowed brighter, and suddenly a new hologram appeared. This time, it was not a story. It was a warning. The voice spoke. The Council has lied. They did not protect our knowledge. They stole it. They use our power to rule. They fear us, but they cannot destroy us. Aaron clenched his fists. The Council had built their empire on stolen technology, stolen history. Every law, every ship, every weapon, they had all been shaped by this ancient race. The hologram shifted again, showing the galaxy itself. Bright dots of light marked the systems under Council control. Then, darker dots appeared, spreading across the map. The voice grew louder. We are returning. We will take back what was ours. And when we return, there will be no Council. Aaron stepped back, his heart racing. If this was true, then war was coming. The Council might fall, but so would countless innocent people caught in the middle. Why me? Aaron whispered. His voice cracked. Why are you showing me this? The hologram figure turned toward him, eyes glowing. Because you are not bound to them. You are free. You can carry the truth. You can decide who survives. Aaron felt a weight drop into his chest. He was only an explorer. He wasn't a soldier, not a leader. But now he was holding the fate of the galaxy in his hands. Before he could respond, his ship's alarm screamed. He ran outside, his eyes darting to the sky. A fleet of council ships had arrived, black and silver, sharp and endless. They had tracked him here. His stomach sank. He was trapped. A message appeared on his console, cutting through the air like a blade. A woman's voice, calm, cold, official. Explorer Aaron, you are in possession of restricted technology. Surrender the crystal, and you may live. Aaron clenched the crystal tight, his knuckles white. He could almost feel its energy burning into his skin. The voice repeated, surrender now. This is your only chance. He shook his head. No, he whispered to himself. Not anymore. The ruins around him suddenly came alive. Lights burst from the ground, lines of energy racing across the stones. Towers that had been dead for centuries began to glow. The ancient city was waking. The council ships fired their weapons, red beams tearing into the ground. But the ruins absorbed the blasts. A shield of blue energy rose high into the sky, blocking the attack. Aaron stayed in shock. The crystal had awakened the planet itself. The alien voice returned, powerful and endless. This is only a fragment of our power. If they fear us, it is because they know they cannot stop us. Carry this truth, Aaron. Show them what they have hidden. The shield held, but cracks began to appear under the council's assault. They would break through soon. Aaron rushed back into his ship, the crystal still glowing. Myra, he whispered, opening a private channel. If you can hear me, they're coming. And it's worse than we thought. The council has stolen everything. And now, the aliens are returning. Static answered him, then silence. He was alone. The council's voice boomed again. This is your final warning. Give us the crystal. Aaron looked at the glowing device, his mind torn between fear and duty. If he surrendered, he might survive, but the truth would die. If he refused, the council would destroy him. The ruins trembled, light pouring out like fire. The ground shook beneath his ship. Something beneath the planet was waking. Something older, larger, alive. And just as the council ships broke through the shield, the crystal whispered one last time, "We are not gone. We are here." Aaron's eyes widened as the ground split open, and a massive alien structure began to rise from the ruins, reaching for the stars. The ground of the ruined planet shook like thunder. Dust filled the sky as a massive structure rose from the earth. Towers of black stone and blue light climbed higher and higher, reaching for the stars. It was not just a building. It was a ship. Aaron stood frozen, his ship trembling under his feet. The alien craft was waking after centuries of silence, its engines humming with ancient power. The crystal in his hand pulsed with the same rhythm, as if it was the heart of this giant machine. Above, the council fleet circled like predators. Their voices echoed through his comms again, sharp and merciless. Explorer Aaron, surrender the crystal, or you will be destroyed. Aaron's throat went dry. He looked at the crystal, glowing so brightly it hurt his eyes. The alien voice whispered softly inside his mind. They cannot stop what is already coming. The council ships opened fire. Red beams cut through the air, crashing against the alien ship's rising hull. But the ancient craft did not fall. Its shield shimmered like blue flames, swallowing every strike. Aaron stumbled into his own vessel, gripping the controls. His radar screamed with warning signals. The council fleet were preparing a full assault. He had only seconds to decide. He opened a private channel to Myra. For long moments, only static answered. Then her face appeared, blurred and shaking. "Aaron," she cried, "I can't believe you're still alive. Where are you?" "I don't have time to explain," Aaron said, his voice raw. "Myra, the aliens, they're real. The council knew. They've been hiding everything. And now, they're coming back." Myra's eyes widened in terror. "If that's true, the galaxy is not ready. The people don't know. The council will silence you before you can speak." "That's why I have to show them," Aaron whispered. He lifted the crystal so she could see it. This is a truth, and I'm going to broadcast it. Aaron, if you do that, the council will kill you." He smiled weakly. "They'll try." Before Myra could answer, alarm screamed again. The council fleet had begun their final attack. Dozens of ships rained fire down on the alien structure. But the alien ship answered, with a roar that shook the planet. Its cannons lit up, blasting beams of white-blue energy into the sky. Council ships exploded one after another, torn apart like paper. Aaron's eyes widened. "It's fighting back." The voice inside the crystal thundered. "We are awake. We are returning. The council will fall." The alien ship rose higher, its engine shaking the ground. Its size dwarfed everything around it. It was not a simple vessel, but a flagship of an ancient empire. Aaron knew the council could not win. But he also knew something was. Once the aliens returned, they would not stop at the council. They would take back everything. He raced to his console and began transmitting. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. In stations, in homes, in council chambers, the holograms appeared. Images of the crystal, the alien history, the truth. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy saw what had been hidden. Myra's voice broke through the static. "Aaron, everyone is watching. They know now. The council cannot hide it anymore." Aaron breathed heavily, his hands shaking. He had done it. The truth was free. But then, the alien voice spoke again, louder than before, echoing through his very bones. "You have served your purpose. Now the galaxy will witness our return." Aaron froze. He had been nothing but a messenger. The aliens had used him to open the door. Above, the council fleet burned. Below, the alien flagship rose into the sky, its engines glowing brighter than suns. Myra shouted through the comms, "Aaron, get out of there. They'll destroy everything." The ground shook harder. More structures were rising, smaller ships, hundreds of them, tearing free from the ruins. An entire fleet had been buried beneath the planet, waiting for this moment. Aaron's heart sank. The council was finished, but so was the galaxy he had known. He whispered into the comm, his voice breaking, "Myra, tell them not to fight. Tell them to run. No one can stop what's coming." Her face blurred, tears in her eyes. "What about you?" Aaron looked at the crystal one last time. Its light was fading, its purpose complete. He clenched it in his hand and closed his eyes. "I'll stay. Someone has to witness this." The alien flagship roared into the sky, leading its fleet of awakened ships. Their voices echoed across the stars, not just to Aaron, but to the whole galaxy now that the signal was open. "We are not gone. We are here, and we have come back." The council fleet shattered, flames falling like rain. The galaxy trembled as the new era began. And alone on the broken planet, Aaron stood inside his small ship, watching the end of everything he once believed. The truth was no longer hidden, but the future would never be the same.